let me start with thanking a lot for the day, not for the event, but for the contribution. Today, all of us learn a lot of things, and my first thank you, a big thank you, is to all contributors, to all speakers, because all of them didn't bring here just a boiled plate, something very well new. They tried to be very innovative here, and they tried to make something ad hoc for this event. So your contribution have been really valuable, the one of this afternoon, but of course also the one of this morning. And someone asked for having the presentation available in the website. I asked to some contributors and also to Andrea. In the website, in the next days, please, there is the weekend in the mid, but soon, very soon, we will ask to all the contributors to make to provide us with a PDF version, and then you will receive an email or a key to download the presentation, okay? Not the whole presentation, but the one that could be downloaded. So this is another important contribution to the evolution. If someone doesn't want to contribute with the presentation, there could be also some document or some official document that could be offered as a contribution to the debate. A warm thank you also to all the attendees, because I believe that the whole day is challenging, and the level of attention is really high now. So I am very astonished about your capability to follow this discussion, and I want to thank you, because it's very important also for people staying on this side to have this very caring, let me say, very people with a high level of attention. Of course, I want to thank personally and also on behalf of all of you, MIB, for hosting this event. I was involved since the beginning. It is not so common to have different universities collaborating, but it's not about you, about me, but I want to underline that we believe that cooperation is the premise, the requirement for innovation and for research. So me and Andrea are very happy to be here together, even if we are not in the same university. And so MIB hosted this relevant event, and I believe that it will be a milestone in the journey in Italy and also in Europe for integrated reporting. And the last but not least, a big thank to Generali, because it's not so common having a company that try not to make some advertising about the capability of the company to do this or that other, but contribute to the evolution of a culture and management culture. So a big thank to Massimo Romano and to the team, and also an applause, if I may. I think they deserve a big applause for this event. Thank you. Thank you, because really, again, it's not so common. And I need, it's also a matter for me, to try to understand what I can learn from today. First, I have only 8 slides. Some of them have been prepared during the day, some other before, but it's 8 slides, no more. First, one of the main pillars of this corporate reporting and integrated thinking is the long-term horizon. But have a look to this chart. What is long-term? Long-term 10 years ago was not the same long-term horizon of today. At the beginning of the age of human people, long-term was 2 million years. 2 million years. It was very comfortable to be accountant there, because for 2 million years no one will change any rule, anything else. And then, I don't want to go line by line in the change, but you can realize that the horizon is shortened and shortened, and now we are asking for making it longer. So it's not so easy because the society is making pressure to shorten the horizon, and we, as people involved in management, are asking for a long-term horizon. So there is an evident contradiction, and it will not so easy to find a solution consistent with the outside society. Okay, I hope to be clear in my point, because we have this hectic rhythm, and then we need a long-term horizon to make appropriate choice, appropriate decision. So we need some additional tool. I'm not sure that now, at this day, we have this tool. The second takeaway is this. It's not a matter of technology, it's a matter of how things are happening. It's not a matter of storytelling. This slide provides us with what is happening, not just describing. Same choice, a pope as being elected or chosen. I don't know if it's elected or chosen, but in any case, to pope 8 years later. And in the first case, people is involved in the same square, San Pietro, and they are involved in the situation. 8 years later, they are involved through a video. It's not about storytelling. It's about how people is participating living the life. So what about having a report? What about the perception of people? What about the perception of our investors, of our stakeholders that now prefer to look at the reality through technology, through a device? I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that we should change our mindset because things are changing. It's not about storytelling. It's not the story. It's reality that it's different. And I am not sure we are ready because things are happening so fast. Okay, we are not talking, when we talk about sustainability, where is Lucia, we know we are not talking about charity, about CSR, we are talking about shared value. And shared value means, I refer here to this debate, not about between Trump and Hillary, but between Porter Kramer, the contribution of this article in 2011, and then the critics received by Crane and others. And the critics, in my opinion, but I am a supporter of integrated reporting and of shared value, the critics are about being this proposal about shared value naive about the company's social role. But Livia provides us with the answer. We don't care about the intention of managers. We care about the results. And the results, if the results are good for people, good for society, good for company, what's wrong with that? If doing good for the company, there is also the good for the society, what's bad on that? So I believe that also sometimes academic people should open their mindset. This morning, Sarah refers also to this contribution by Mary Barth. It was quoted in the footnote in the presentation of Sarah, but I want to devote some word on it. It's a relevant contribution because in this contribution, Mary, a woman, let me underline, argued that integrated reporting may have two beneficial effects. The first, in the capital market, the better disclosure implies a lower cost of capital, and now we have demonstrated, she and other people demonstrate this, and this is relevant. It's not about marketing, advertising, storytelling, it's about cost of capital with a positive effect. And then if a company has an integrated reporting, the capability to make better decisions is improved. And I believe we are interested in this improving of decision-making. And this contribution is relevant to help us to say that it's not a matter of storytelling. We are not people from marketing. I respect people in marketing. We are not discussing about the packaging of the report. We are discussing about how company creates value and how company disclose this value. But there is a but. We cannot forget, I apologize, the title is in Italian, I try to translate. Millennials people are not so smart, they are simply poor. We should not forget that sometimes coins, every time really, coins have two faces. And when we talk about these new frontiers, new way of sharing economy, we want to be in the forefront of the companies, but we should also listen to that people, listen to the stakeholder, because from that side, perhaps, to be flexible is not so smart. To be flexible is not so appealing as it could seem from the company perspective. So I believe that we should never ignore also this perspective. And I believe that this title is effective. So I have 2 slides more. My takeaway for today, the first, definitely, it's more or less a summary of today. We are talking about a new paradigm. So the last question by the student. I believe that this is not a matter of accountancy profession. We are talking about how companies should change in strategy, in the corporate governance, and then in disclosing, in measuring and disclosing information. This is a huge change. So if you want the right answer now, we needed a century to be here, from Gino Zappa, you know, from Venice, and then before Fra Luca Paciolo, 5 centuries ago. So please let us enough time, 5 years, 10 years, to address in a proper way all the change in the paradigm. But definitely it is not only about accounting principle. This is the last part of the story. We should change the corporate governance, the strategy, and then also the way we measure and we account for. Second, it's not in order of importance, but the role of culture, education. Could we proceed in teaching accounting strategy in the same way that we did in the last 10 years, 20 years? I don't think so. We are not doing in this way. We are changing a lot. We are tackling this in a multidisciplinary approach. When we talk of integrated reporting, it's evident that we need a multidisciplinary approach. Otherwise, we will not be effective. Then the long-term horizon, I don't want to add anything. It's a matter of corporate governance. Livia had no time to address this issue, but she refers to relevant document. When we have a board of directors with an appropriate diversity, not only by gender, but also by age. In Italy, age is a very challenging issue. The average age of people in the board of directors is 58, so age is really challenging according to diversity. And having board of directors with different background, age, gender, and so on is a contribution, is an accelerator to this process. And corporate governance is also about how to connect shareholder and stakeholder. Is it enough to have, sometimes trade unions ask for sitting on the board of directors here in Italy, like in Germany? I don't believe they are ready, because the level, in my opinion, professional opinion, the level and the quality of the two, German trade unions and Italian trade unions, are not the same. So I am very scared about people from trade unions sitting in the board of directors, because when you sit in the board of directors, you should be responsible for the next generation, not only for the next year. So you need an appropriate education and culture to stay there, but corporate governance is another very important issue. And then we refer several times today to materiality. I write here, materiality is different in sustainability reporting, annual reporting, integrated reporting. Yes, it's different. And we can summarize these differences with material to whom? To employees, to stakeholders, to shareholders. But in the long term, I agree with Livia. In the long term, of course, we all agree that we need to create value, and so the relevance, the materiality is material to help us to create value in the long term. But what we want to disclose in the short term, material to whom now? When we address environmental topics, and environmental topics change year by year. So how can we address materiality with a long-term horizon, but we should disclose now, not in 10 years. So it's not, we want to be transparent, but it's not so easy to have a very short but relevant list of items to be disclosed, because it's material to whom and material when, in which horizon. So it's very difficult. Another very important issue is stakeholder engagement. How do you want to engage your stakeholder? With the like in Facebook? And do you want to count? Some companies do in this way. They just count how many social media relationships they have, and this is a good index to demonstrate that they are very open. I am very skeptical about this way, just to be kind. But when we talk about stakeholder engagement, it's really a big issue. And I am looking also to Andrea Rosignoli, because how can we provide an assurance about the appropriateness of a stakeholder engagement process? When can we say that a company engaged stakeholder in the due process? Can we have an assurance on that? Wow, it's very, very challenging. And can we count people? 1 million, 1 billion, 1,000, 2, 3, or which people, how? So, I mean, stakeholder engagement is really very, very challenging. And let me say, we need different citizens to be involved, different from today, different from the medium, from the average of today, to be involved in a proper way as stakeholder, in a stakeholder engagement process. That's why MIB, Foscari, University of Trieste is educating people, because we need people capable to be involved, not to be manipulated by newspaper, okay? I refer, for instance, to the fashion that sometimes we have regarding food, regarding clothes, regarding something that a newspaper launch, and then all is keen about this topic, but without disregarding any scientific evidence about it. So to have an appropriate stakeholder engagement, we need a proper level, a maturity of people to be involved, different stakeholders to be involved. What about the expectation gap? Expectation gap before coming to the assurance process. When we have an integrated reporting or a sustainability report, what about the expectation gap? Are we sure that people, that our readers understand the difference between performance and disclosure? We may have a good sustainability or integrated report and a bad performance, or we may have a good performance and a bad, very bad done report. It's not the same. Are we sure that people, but also professional people, understand the difference between performance and reporting, disclosing? I'm not sure of that. We are working on that, and what can we do? More events like this, more education in the university, in the accountancy profession, whenever, and we should not refrain for keeping high the level of attention. And good news, my last slide. Okay, here. There is also a matter of size, but Dellas demonstrates that it's not an excuse to stay away from integrated reporting. I suggest also that if the company is really, really small, there could be also a role to be played by association that could help these small, very small entities in Italy to have, let me say, a package, a very common package for company that stay in the same industry, in the same district. There should be the room for an association to help them to avoid a lot of costs. We are not scared about measures and metrics. We have some experience about impacts long-term. So we cannot say that we don't want to jump inside integrated reporting because now we are not able to measure. If we are not capable to do something, we could ignore this evolution. So there is plenty of work for our side as academics, for companies, for innovate. There is also the need of an evolution of the role of CFO, and I write here, evolve or disappear, because now they are fighting, but not fighting to be the winner, but to be the loser. Who is the owner of integrated reporting? In most companies, people don't want to be the owner. So they say, no, it's your time. No, please, go first, it's your time. So it's not a matter of competing to be the owner of the process. They try to be excluded because it's very challenging. So, but to stay outside this new arena, in my opinion, is not a winning opportunity for CFO, because in the future, information, as in the past, should be useful, and if it's not useful to make decision, perhaps the first cost to be deleted will be administration costs. So accountancy profession and CFO should evolve, or they will be shortened, really. Livia and others talk about the risk management. We can have a subtitle of the today event, how to perform better in the risk management. When we tackle the issue of the value creation in the long-term horizon, we are talking about decreasing the risk, and entrepreneurs and managers are really interested in managing risk in the better way. And then we come to audit and assurance, and I type here the different word, and Andrea, I perfectly know the difference, me, you, and some few people here, the difference between audit, assurance, verification, check, limited, full. But people outside want just to be sure that the information is reliable. So I believe that also from the audit profession and the audit people, we need some step ahead in order to make things clear. Is this information reliable or is not reliable? We cannot say it's limited report, limited, but it's an assurance, it's a verification, it's not a check. The question is, can I rely on that to make my decision? And the answer should be very, very clear, yes or no. Perhaps it's not accepted, in my opinion, but perhaps we need some additional years, not a lot, to come to a clear picture about the assurance. But we are very happy because markets are asking for assurance, and they want a clear answer, so they will drive us towards this opportunity. And then again, you, Andrea, talk about the suitable criteria, but also appropriate skills of auditor. And again, we close the circle and we come back to education. So these are just a short list of the takeaway of the very, very relevant day of today. Again, thank you to all of you, and thank you to MIB and Generali for organizing this event. Thank you.